Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this week's practice with Together We Shine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here in person. I know a lot of people will be coming back to the recordings. And so also thank you to those of you who are joining us in that capacity. I can feel you out there, and I'm with you as much as you are with me. So thank you. The bhavana for tonight's practice is leaning into Sutra 1-3. So for those of you who are coupling this practice with our sutra study, they're going to be mutually beneficial. It's certainly not required that you do both, but if you are, this will just ideally give even more sense of meaning and reality to what it is that we're studying in philosophy and theory. And Sutra 1-3 essentially tells us that when we are able to gain mastery over the roaming tendencies of the mind, when we're able to cultivate the possibility for stillness and quietude and inner presence, then the seer, the witness, pure consciousness becomes established in its essential nature. So we've talked a little bit about the idea that we have innate attributes as human beings, that our mind has these innate attributes, which are things like clarity and luminosity, purity. These are our innate attributes as humans. But we also have all of these acquired attributes that we take on, we adopt, or they are forced upon us through life. These various impressions and experiences that our mind assigns meaning to in the interest of being able to navigate the external world successfully. And really that success is limited to our survival. So these acquired attributes tend to be rooted in emotions and meaning assigned to experiences that have a lot to do with fear and anger, sense of otherness, separateness, things of that nature that take us in the opposite direction of who we are naturally, which again is luminous and clear and tranquil. So when we're able to, through our techniques of practice and contemplation, touch even briefly that still, quiet, peaceful quality, it gives our consciousness an opportunity to remember who and what it truly is, to experience itself through that calm, quiet, tranquil mind. And thank goodness, just the tiniest glimpse is enough for us to start believing in that reality. And then starting to stretch its capacity a little bit through consistent practice of coming back to that place time and time and time and time again, so that we become increasingly established in it. And we're able to remember our true nature and live increasingly from that place. So again, what is our true nature? It is inherently peaceful, clear, calm, joyful, luminous. This is the mind's innate attributes. And we're going to practice in such a way to try to give ourselves the opportunity to glimpse it on an experiential level. One of the ways that we can do that is to increase our capacity, expand our capacity for awareness and for a sense of presence. This gives us access to what we refer to in this methodology as the dawning of higher awareness, where we begin to recognize through our own experience of our body and our mind, through the presence of prana, that we are more than body and we are more than mind. So that's what we're focusing on here. In terms of the methodology, we're going to lean into postures that give us a stronger felt sense of prana. So there will be a little bit of gentle back bending. There will be some work with laterals to create more of this sense of expansion beyond the limitations, beyond the confines of the thinking mind and all of its conditioning. And then ideally, by the time we get to Shavasana, little pranayama and meditation at the end, there will be this sense of spaciousness where we can experience at least little glimpses of this innate quality of luminosity, of calm, still quietude, and see ourselves in that way. Okie dokie. That's enough talking. Yeah, it is enough talking. Let's go to our mats. Go ahead and start on your hands and knees. Actually, before we come to the hands and knees, just come onto the knees. But if this is not comfortable for you, any comfortable seat is going to be just fine. Find steadiness in the body. And then soften that steadiness with ease. Rest the hands on the thighs, maybe palms facing up, and just let the shoulders drop. You can choose to have the eyes open or closed at this point. See if you can be, for now, simultaneously aware of both the internal and the external world. And begin to observe your relationship with both. Invite a softening into the belly so the belly can expand effortlessly with inhale. And very gently, subtly contract with exhale. Continue to invest more and more of your awareness now in the experience of the breath and diaphragmatic breath specifically. Now bring awareness a little bit more up into the space of the chest and begin to create a sense of expansion in every direction with inhale, and then a gentle release again with exhale. The diaphragm is still functioning. We're just adding a little extra expansion through the rib cage and inviting prana up into this space. For now, we're breathing with samavriti, about 4 in and 4 out. One more breath, inviting that sense of expansion through both the front and back side of the heart and out through the sides of the ribs. Now continue to maintain awareness in this space and come onto the hands and knees. We'll start to move through cow and cat, Samavriti for the first 2 rounds. So inhales and exhales equal in length. About a 4 count inhale to open up. Create expansion in the front side of the heart. And a 4 count exhale to contract at the belly and stretch through the back. With the next inhale, breathe in for 5 counts. Exhale 4. In for 6. Out for 4. In for 7. Out for 4. In for 8. And out for 4. Easy in-breath to come back to a neutral spine. And on exhale, bring your head and your hips over to the left, stretching into the right side body. And then continue to breathe easily. Swing the head and the hips over to the right, stretch into the left side body. Lightly swing from side to side. Noticing where there's stiffness or resistance and easing in and through. And when you've gone to both sides an equal number of times, come back through to the center. Let's bring the knees a little bit wider apart. The big toes are still touching. So a variation of child's pose, and we're going to move dynamically. On inhale, hinge forward slightly. Maybe the toes will lift up off the mat as you let the pelvis drop. Put a little bend into the elbows to make it easier on your back. On exhale, draw the hips back, sinking the hips toward the heels. Maybe lift onto the fingertips and sink your heart gently between the thighs toward the ground. Inhale to rock forward. Maybe the toes lift as the pelvis drops. A little bend in the elbows, drawing the heart through. And on exhale, rock back. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale, rock back. We'll do that one more time. Stay in this wide-kneed child's pose, and maybe give your hips just a little wiggle from the side to side. And then again, softening down the center. On the next inhale, walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. Exhale, draw the right hip back. Put a little bend into the right elbow. And then breathe some more space into the right side of the body, staying soft and tender. On the next inhale, walk the hands back through the center. And on exhale, again, melt down the middle. And enjoy a full breath here. Inhale and walk the hands to the right. Exhale, put a little bend into the left elbow, stretching into the left side body. Use the breath to create more expansion, a little more space. Inhale back through to the center. Exhale, right down the middle. One more breath. From here, let's inhale up to the hands and knees. Bring the thighs back to parallel, tuck the toes. And on exhale, float the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here to pedal the feet or stretch in any way that your body is asking for. When you're ready on an inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look between the hands, and on exhale, step to the top of the mat. Press down through both feet evenly and try to bring your weight to a center point between the balls of the feet and the heels. Activate the thighs and start to rotate your inner thighs toward the wall back behind you. Legs can be bent or straight, just finding a little bit of internal rotation. Fingertips either on the mat, the ankles, the shins, or hands on the thighs. We're going to come into a back bend variation of Ardha Uttanasana, really simple. Inhale, draw the collarbones forward, scoop the sternum forward, lift the back of the head, and exhale, fold. Again, with a 5-count inhale, lift halfway, strong legs, strong upper back. Exhale, fold. 6-count inhale. Exhale, fold. 7 counts. Fold. And an 8-count inhale. Exhale, fold. Press down through both feet. Inhale, rise, reach for the sky. And exhale, release the arms by your sides. Give yourself a moment. Let's use some sun salutations to move energy around a bit. Inhale, sweep the arms up, press down through the feet. Lift a bit more through the sternum and collarbone, so a tiny back bend in the upper spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale to lift halfway, again finding that little bit of back bend. Exhale, step back to plank. On an inhale, hinge forward. Draw the collarbones forward. Bring the shoulders past the fingertips. And then exhale, lower to the mat. Inhale, squeeze the triceps in. Pull the sternum forward, lift the back of the head. Exhale, return to the inhale to hands and knees. Tuck the toes, exhale to child's pose. Here in child's pose, inhale. And on exhale, try to lift the hips straight up and back to down dog. Easier said than done. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, look toward the hands. Exhale, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Find that back bend in the upper spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Little back bend at the top. And exhale, arms by your sides. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands and knees, tuck the toes. Exhale, draw the hips back for a variation of child's pose. Inhale here, press into the palms. Exhale, float the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, gaze forward. Exhale, step to the top. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, reach for the sky, baby back bend. And exhale, arms by your sides. Give yourself a moment. Notice whatever there is to notice. Try to soften the body so you can be present to the energy coursing through it and around it. From here, if it's comfortable in your body, bring the feet together, big toes touching with maybe a little bit of a gap between the heels. And again, try to find a little internal rotation of the thighs. It's just going to give you a little bit more strength and open up a bit through the sacrum. Let's sweep the arms up. Press the palms together and maybe hook the thumbs just to kind of lock that in. We're going to open up through the side body. Keep it relatively simple. Inhale to get a little bit more space in the spine. And exhale without back bending, just lean off to one side. Root down through the opposite heel. Inhale, come back up through the center. And exhale, move to the other side. So we'll go back and forth a few times. Inhale, come up. Oop, try not to fall over. Exhale, hinge to a side. Inhale, come back up. And exhale, opposite side. Good, now we'll come to the first side and stay for a few breaths. Inhale, upright. And exhale. Good. If the placement for the arms isn't helpful, maybe try bending that top elbow, reaching through the elbow. The opposite arm can come down. Breathe into the side body. Keep drawing the navel toward the spine and sinking the sits bones toward the heels. On the next inhale, float upright. Reach both arms alongside the ears. Exhale, float both arms down. Soften the stance and just notice. Is there perhaps an increased sense of spaciousness in that side? Maybe a sense of levity or vibrancy. And preparing for the opposite side, we'll inhale both arms up. Exhale, feel free to keep the palms together as you hinge to the opposite side. Keep trying to squeeze the thighs so you've got some stability through the legs. You're welcome to release that grip and find something that works better for you, something that is soft. And then breathe into the side. On the next inhale, we'll rise, both arms float up. And with exhale, both arms float back down. Again, soften your stance. And notice. These moments of pausing, of embracing quiet stillness, are our best opportunity to get a glimpse of our true nature. Preparing to move on. On the next inhale, find yourself in Utkatasana. Exhale, straighten the legs and just bring the arms back down by your sides. Inhale back to Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, rise. 2 more times. Inhale to come back into your chair. On exhale, swing the arms behind you and either stack the palms on the sacrum if that's available, or maybe bring the palms together, interlace the fingers. Bend the elbows and try to draw your knuckles in towards your lower back. Soften the shoulders. Wrap the triceps toward one another. Hug the thighs in so they stay parallel to one another. Weight rocked back toward the heels. Give your toes a little wiggle. From here, use the shoulder blades to help press the spine a little further into the body, to help lift the sternum and the collarbones, and then delicately tilt the chin up, but keep the back of the neck long and stable. Breathe into the space between the sternum and the collarbones, filling it up with a sense of presence. One more full breath. Inhale, simply stand. Exhale, release the arms. And again, enjoy a moment. Moving on. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, soften the knees and slide the left foot back for a crescent lunge so the heel stays off the ground. Bend that back knee fairly generously. Root down through the right heel and inhale, rise. On the exhale, straighten both legs and sweep the arms down by your sides. Inhale, bend both knees, arms up. Exhale, straighten the legs, arms down. 2 more times. Inhale back into that crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, soften the shoulders and the neck, soften the arms, even soften the palms of the hands, make them more receptive. And then start to take the back leg towards straight, not for the sake of the leg being straight, but in order to enhance an opening through the left thigh and hip flexor. Stay with the breath for 3, 2, 1 more breath. On the bottom of the exhale, release the arms and step back to plank. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale to the earth. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Exhale back for that modified child's pose. Take a breath in here. Exhale, down dog. Another breath here. Inhale, lift your left heel up and back. Exhale, lunge the foot through. Soften the back knee. Root down through the left heel. Inhale, rise, high crescent. Moving dynamically here. Exhale, straighten both legs, arms down by your sides. Inhale, bend both knees. Keep going. Just enough effort. Not too much, not too little. Inhale back into the lunge. Exhale, soften the neck and the shoulders, soften the palms. Take the back leg a little bit closer to straight. Breathe for 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, step to the top of the mat. Exhale, release the hands. Take a moment to just be. Inhale to come back to chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, soft knees, slide the right foot back this time. Stay low to the ground. Give yourself a moment to soften, and then release the right knee as well. Try to square the hips by hugging the inner thighs together a bit more. Sink down through the sits bones and then lift yourself up. Place the left hand gently behind the back and inhale to reach the right arm up. Good. Stay here for a moment, just breathing. Use the shoulder blades to help press the spine a little further into the body, lifting the collarbones, still hugging the inner thighs toward one another, sinking through the sits bones. Breathe for 3. 2. 1. Release the hand. Give yourself a moment. If it feels okay in your body, maybe heel toe the left foot a little further over to the left. Bring your hand to the inside and then gently roll onto the pinky toe side of the foot. So getting a little bit of external rotation in the left thigh. And again, if it feels good in your body, maybe bring your right heel in toward your seat. Press down through the right hand, reach the left arm back, take a hold of the pant leg, the ankle, the foot, and gently hug the heel in toward your tush. Stay with the breath. If you have a hold of the foot, let it go. Bring the left hand back down to the earth. Tuck the back toes, and then make your way to a plank position. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale to hands and knees. Tuck the toes, exhale this modified child's pose. Inhale here. Exhale to down dog. Enjoy a breath. Inhale, float the right leg up. Exhale and lunge the leg through. Soften here a moment and then release the knee. Hug the inner thighs together. Sink the sits bones. Lift the torso. Right hand can come behind the back, resting on the sacrum, and the left arm will reach up. Use the shoulder blades to gently press the spine a little further into the body. Keep rooting down through the sits bones. Lift through the collarbones and breathe for 3. 2. 1. And release the hand. If it's okay in your body, heel toe the right foot over to the right a bit. Bring your arm to the inside. Maybe roll to the pinky toe side of the right foot and then sink the pelvis through a bit more, opening up external rotation. Easy does it. Preparing to stretch into the quadricep a bit more. Root down through the left foot. If it's okay in your body, draw your left heel in as you reach the right arm back. Stay for about 3 breaths. When you're ready, gently release. Bring the hand back down to earth. Let's step back to plank again. Inhale, hinge forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale, hands and knees. Leave the toes as they are. And exhale to a more traditional child's pose. We're going to rest here for a few breaths. From here, slide the hands back and sit back on your heels. Give yourself a moment. Soften the belly. And tune into the breath. From here, either stay in Virasana or any other posture that works well in your body. We're going to be here for a little bit working with the shoulders. Place the fingertips on top of the shoulders. Keep the shoulders soft. Inhale to lift the elbows. Exhale, roll the elbows back and down toward one another. And inhale, forward, together, and up. Let's make a few more of these circles. With the next inhale, switch directions. And then release. And again, just notice. One more for the shoulders. Coming into Garudasana arms, let's put the right arm on top of the left. Draw the shoulder blades down. Squeeze the forearms together, maybe wrapping the right arm around the left, and either giving yourself a little high five or holding on to the thumb. From here, nice and easy, with inhale, lift the arms. And with exhale, lower. Keep going. Gradually increasing the range of motion. With the next inhale, unwrap the arms, peel the elbows open. And exhale, bring the hands together behind the back. Once more, let's interlace the fingers. Press the knuckles into the lower back, hug the triceps together. Stabilize through the belly and the back of the neck. Lift the collarbones gently. For 3, 2, 1. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, release the hands. Breathe and notice. Last time, left elbow over the top of the right. So opposite side with Garudasana arms. Wrapping the left arm around, a little high five, or take a hold of the thumb. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. If your legs are getting a little prickly, then you can come up onto the shins. But same idea. And again, inhale, peel the arms open. Exhale, bring the hands together, interlace the fingers. Try pulling the knuckles away from your back body this time. Lift the elbows and triceps. Keep stabilizing through the pelvis, the sacrum, the belly. And a little bit more of a lift for the collarbones and sternum. Breathe into the space between the collarbones and sternum. Inhale, straighten the spine. Exhale, release the arms, and once more, come down to your hero pose and just feet. Switch gears a little bit. Take a seat. Stretch the right leg out to the right side, keeping the left knee bent and the heel coming in toward your pelvic floor. Take a moment just to find the posture. And then we'll start to open up through the side body. Right hand can stay on the shin or maybe on the floor in front of the leg. Inhale and extend the left arm up. On exhale, keep rooting down through your left sit bone as you stretch up and over to come to the right. Inhale, lift back up through the center. And exhale, come back into the stretch. Two more times dynamically like that. And we're going to linger. You can stay somewhat dynamic here. On inhale, think about reaching out through the wrist. And on exhale, bend the elbow back a little bit. Inhale, reach out through the wrist. Exhale, bend the elbow back. Once more. Then find your furthest variation for today and stay. Try not to collapse into the posture. Let it stay alive, but soft. On the next inhale, lift the arm, lift the body. Exhale, rest the hands on the knees. Maybe close the eyes this time. Just be. And notice. Before we take this to the other side, we'll have a little twist. If it's okay in your leg and hip, bend your right knee and just bring the heel in toward your tush, toward your butt. The left foot can stay pressed against the thigh, or if you want, you can bring it up for a variation of half lotus. The pelvis is going to be at a little bit of an angle, most likely. That's okay. From here, inhale and bring the arms up. On the exhale, rotate the rib cage to the left. Bring your left arm down, either onto the ground or try to just rest it behind your back, maybe even reaching around towards your upper inner right thigh, or if you're in that half lotus, you can take a hold of your own heel. The right arm is going to come down. Fingertips can either touch the ground, or maybe the palm starts to come onto the ground, pressing down, out and away. Keep lifting through the collarbones as we have been all night or morning. And then peel your left shoulder back while continuing to peel your right shoulder open. Looking over the back shoulder, let's breathe for 3. And then bring your chin forward toward the front shoulder. Keep drawing the shoulders down. Tilt the chin down slightly. And then very delicately lift your left cheek. Soft breath. Stay tender. On the next inhale, let the head come upright. Exhale, gently release the arms, release the twist. Take a moment here. And let's switch the orientation of the legs. Extending the left leg out to the side and bending the right knee. Easing in so we don't go too far too fast from one extreme to the other. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bring the left hand down to the thigh, to the shin, to the mat, and stretch the right arm over. Moving dynamically. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, soften over. A few more times. Make sure you feel supported once you get there again. Inhale to extend out through the wrist. Exhale, gently bend the elbow back, maybe looking under the arm toward the sky. Inhale, reach through the wrist. Exhale, draw the elbow back. One more time. Then find your fullest expression for the day. And continue to soften into it for 3 breaths. The next inhale, start by releasing the arm and then come upright. Exhale, rest the hands on the knees, maybe close the eyes, and just breathe. And preparing for that twist on this side. So again, left knee can bend. If possible, find internal rotation in that thigh and bring the heel in towards your tush, towards your seat. Right heel can come up into the hip crease if that works well in your body, but it isn't necessary. Inhale, sit nice and tall, even though the pelvis is lopsided. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, rotate the ribs. Right hand can either come down behind you or maybe reach all the way around. Maybe taking a hold of your own thigh or ankle. Left hand is going to slide down, either fingertips touching the mat or palm coming all the way under the thigh. Keep drawing the shoulder blades down, broadening across the collarbones. And look gently over the back shoulder for 3 breaths. Continue to peel the right shoulder open, but bring your head forward toward the left shoulder and bow the chin. Keeping the neck long, delicately lift the right cheek and breathe here for 3. 2. 1 more breath. Inhale, bring the head upright. Exhale, release the arms, release the twist. Give yourself a moment. Come back onto the knees. And then onto the hands and knees and lower onto the belly. Keep the thighs together if you will. Scoot your rib cage a little bit further forward. We're going to move now into either Dhanurasana bow pose, or you can do the exact same sequence with Cobra. So either we're going to take a hold of the feet, or you're going to keep your hands underneath the shoulders for support. Both will be effective. So one is not inherently better than another. Whatever is best for you, make that choice. Okay, so we'll start by just easing in and out of the posture with Samavriti, and then we'll play a little bit. Stay soft, stay tender. If you're going to go into bow pose with the ankles, Dhanurasana, you can reach back, take a hold of either the pinky toe sides of the feet or ankles, or maybe even a little bit closer to the shins. Continue to hug the thighs together and try to point the sits bones toward the knees. So we're stabilizing the low back. On an inhale, begin to press the feet into the hands and draw the collarbones and sternum forward, lifting the top of the head. Exhale, soften. Don't release entirely, but soften. Inhale, re-engage. Exhale, soften. Inhale, re-engage. Exhale, soften. And once more, inhale, re-engage to the furthest point thus far. Exhale, release. We're going to rest for a moment. Create a little pillow out of the arms. Bring your head down and relax. If you have one cheek down, switch to the other and enjoy a few more breaths. Bring the head back through to center. And again, either cobra or Dhanurasana, bow pose. It doesn't have to be the same choice that you made last time. So feel free to reassess if you want a little more or if you want a little less. Okay, you're in charge. Go ahead and bring your forehead down. If you're going for the feet, draw them in. Stabilize through the inner thighs and the lower back and belly. With a 4 count inhale, come into the posture. On exhale, stay. 5 count inhale. Exhale, stay. 6. 7. And 8. On the exhale after 8, gently release. Keep the arms alongside the body. Bring one cheek to the mat. Soften. Notice. Other cheek. Forehead to the mat. Hands under the shoulders. Inhale, lift the hands and knees. Enjoy a couple rounds of easy cow and cat. And when it feels appropriate, draw back into traditional child's pose. Thighs together, toes long, deep forward fold. On the next inhale, one last time, sit back on the heels, soften the shoulders, lengthen the spine, and close the eyes. Make your way to Shavasana. On your way to Shavasana, if you need a blanket, a pillow, anything to put over your eyes or over your body, bring them along with you. And as you settle into your supine position, just check in with your body to see if there's anything else that you need. And if there is a twist, a forward fold, anything of that nature that is going to help drop you into a state of greater balance, equanimity, and rest, pursue that. Otherwise, make your way directly there. When you find yourself in Shavasana, then continue to take your time if there's more that you need. But once you get there, draw awareness to the space of the heart. And by that, I mean essentially the center of the chest, just above the bottom of the sternum, and about 2 finger widths, approximately 3 or 4 centimeters inward of the front of the ribs toward the spine. The rough physical location of the spiritual heart center, or in this case, Anahata Chakra. And as the body breathes, sense a gathering of presence at the heart center with each inhale. And a gentle release with each exhale. Stay with that. Continue with this orientation, sensing that this presence is bubbling up from deep within you, and then spilling over and out into the rest of the body and mind. Inhale this presence bubbles up from deep within, concentrated at the heart center. And with exhale, spills out, ripples out, absorbed into the rest of the body and mind. Continue. Release that technique and soften into effortlessness. Awareness still at the heart. Now diving a bit more deeply toward the center of the heart. On inhale, sense that presence there at the surface of the skin, just above the sternum. And with exhale, dive effortlessly more deeply inward, as though dropping into a deep cave. Continue. Sinking more and more deeply toward the center of your own being. As you do, remembering its inherent qualities. Clarity, quietude, peace, stillness, luminosity. Joy. Again, release any sense of technique or doership. Let the entire experience become effortless. Relying solely on the intention to glimpse your essential nature, to touch or be touched by who and what you truly are. tender awareness still at the center of the heart. Begin to bring attention to the breath. Deepen the breath and move the body just enough to be able to transition from Shavasana to a comfortable seated position. There is no urgency, so we'll take our time. Perhaps bending the knees at some point, rolling to one side, curling into a fetal position, and eventually coming all the way up to sit. Awareness is still predominantly oriented at the heart center. Extend a thread of awareness into the space of the belly and experience soft, smooth, steady breath here. Continuing to nurture this smooth, steady breath. Generate once again a subtle sense of expansion in and around the space of the heart. As though the heart is growing in every direction with each inhale. Softening and adapting to that new expansive nature with each exhale. A few more breaths to facilitate this broadening, this opening of the space of the heart. Release the technique and rest in this spaciousness. With great tenderness, holding within this space every thought, every feeling, every experience, every impression you have ever had.